Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. Little baby, don't you cry.
Summertime, and the schools are closed. $80 billion worth of real estate locked up. Millions of youngsters with nothing to do. No place to go. What does a young person do with this summer? A youngster whose family cannot afford a vacation, a private camp. A teenager old enough to work, but without the skills, the learning, or the connections to find a job. What can be done? What can we do to provide these young people with opportunities for education, recreation, jobs? It takes planning and action at all levels, both public and private.
Good morning, young lady.
Outreach efforts are important. Job mobiles, employment centers on wheels are one way of reaching out. They visit ghetto areas in an effort to place young people from poverty families in paying jobs.
It's fine, the opening's there.
Okay, fine, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we have some that's working possibly with some of the Get Set program.
Industry responds. Through the National Alliance of Businessmen, a partnership between private industry and government, jobs are being found for some.
We want to hire youth who need the jobs. Well, our problems were not with the youth. They were ready to go to work. We had to find the jobs for them. Around our place here, we naturally hire people the year round to work. So when the program came up, why, we began to find jobs that they could come in and do right away. And once we announced ready, why, they were on hand, and we were very satisfied with the way they worked out. The attitude that they exhibited was excellent. They wanted to go to work. Most of the people that we took on really needed the work. And, well, they took on responsibilities that maybe a more seasoned person would have thought twice about taking on. And it was very gratifying to work with them. Everybody commented about that. They did real work for real money. As a businessman, we always look at investment and return. And in my opinion, the investment that is being made here is an absolute no-risk proposition, and the returns are unlimited because we are not only getting value received for the work done, but there's something going into the minds and into the hearts, hopefully, of the youngsters that are here, that when next summer comes around, they'll want to get into the same thing with somebody else, or hopefully come back here and take another swing at it. One or two have indicated they would prefer to stay on during the school year. And of course, this was part of our bargain that we made among ourselves, that we were not going to keep any youngster out of school, and we have strongly urged them to go back to school and finish their high school education. We have been very closely related to the National Council on Crime and Delinquency and other organizations like that. And the President's recent Crime Commission study pointed out that over 86% of all the persons who will be adult criminals at 18 are on the police rolls with a record at the age 14. And if you want to know where almost 90% of your adult criminals will come from 4 years from now, look at the ones that are 14 years old today. Now this tells us a great deal, and we believe that in this area of 14 and 15-year-olds, if they can be given a knowledge of the dignity of work and can be put into a position that yields money for real work, that this can help correct a number of problems. The other businessmen in the community generally run a spectrum, if you want to call it that, in their support of hiring the youth in summer jobs. They start at zero. They start with apathy and then run on to enthusiastic endorsement and experience.
Our association this summer, I don't believe, has made any meaningful contribution to the problem under which we're discussing, nor has our company. We have, however, in the association given a great deal of thought as to how we can improve the position of the disadvantaged, how we can get them on our jobs in time. This is very important to us because we are short of people in the construction industry. We have a great deal of difficulty trying to get young people onto our work because most of our work is handled on a union basis. And I would say there might be, 10, 12 trades that are involved, and normally we need journeymen who are skilled in the industry or are skilled in their particular trade, and that makes it more difficult to get young people on the job. As regards the future, I can only say that I think we'll be a little more prepared to think about the subject and to perhaps plan. I feel that even if we could employ one or two in our business, that we would be making some contribution. And when you multiply this by the number of firms in our industry in this city, we might be making something that be helpful.
Local communities can provide jobs too. Through various youth opportunity programs, people are hired to help youngsters along the way towards hope and whatever happiness they can find during a long, hot summer. They call him Doc. He has a job with the city, a different kind of job. Doc is a recreation assistant at a neighborhood playground.
I work for Amos Playground, the urban day camp. I am a counselor. We do various things, teach the kids skills and try to help them, be like a big brother to them. When I get up in the morning, I have one thought. I think about what I'm going to do this day, what's going to come to me this day. Will I help anybody or will I fail? I just have that one thought. Well, the street itself is bad. The housing is not that good, really. And plus, you have all kinds of people. You don't keep houses and your neighborhood up, it's bad. You give yourself a bad name. I've been living here for about 3 years, and I've grown to know and love the people. They're friendly, really. And I enjoy living around them, being around them, and especially knowing their kids. Well, when you grow up in a neighborhood like this, you do get a little hate into you. When a kid don't have anything to do, they seek to do evil. They need something to occupy their mind at all times. The thing that makes me sad is to see people who have the tendency, I'm not going to do. When they say, I'm not going to do, it hurts. Because they can do if they want to.
Hey, Doc.
We need more space and more buildings to work in. And plus, we need more trained people. If we could get those two things, I think we'll do better. Because the people, say about 10 blocks away, where there's no recreation center, that poses a problem. So if we could get more employees and more room to work in, I say we'll beat the problem. If they could get some of the gyms open in these schools that just sit there, just collect dust through the summer, and then open back up in the winter. So if we could get those gyms open, we'd have more things done and get a lot of the kids off the street, prevent them from doing and getting into trouble. If they expanded this program year-round, I really think we'll hit on something. We'll have more time to work with the kids, to get them to do what we want them to do. And they'll see, and even the parents would say what we accomplished by it. Well, these kids now have a good chance. They have a good chance because now they're having more programs and things to help them along than they did before. Enable for you to go out and do something, you have to go do it yourself. To be something, you have to go out and push. It's a hard struggle, but you have to push. Without education, you're nothing. Today, just to get a cleaning man job, you have to at least have a high school education. Put it this way, everybody have to work as a team. Everybody have to give a little something to get something out of it. Kids now today are our future, really. They're the future. And if we don't take care of them, they won't be able to take care of us later.
Her name is Lupe. And for her, the day begins very much as it begins for all young girls. She picks out a dress, the prettiest one she owns.
I wish the best for Lupe, the best thing. What I want the best for my other children to have all them as much as school they can get, so they can become something when they grow up. You know, sometimes the kids, they ask me for something, and if I don't have it, I feel very sorry, and I feel so sad that I wish I could give them anything that they ask me. That's what sometimes they make me sad, and I start crying.
If most schools are locked in the summer, a few are open. Lupe walks 10 blocks every day. Here she can draw, paint, play in the schoolyard. During the heat of summer, hundreds of thousands of children go without education. A few reap a harvest of happiness. Lupe is one. What would a child of the ghetto give? To breathe clean, clear air, to wander under an expanse of sky unbounded by brick and concrete, to inhale the scent of pine, listen to the calls of wild birds. They call him Chip. He's never been to camp before.
When I walk up lonely stretch of road, I just look around and just listen around at the birds and any other noises.
In this unusual summer program involving public and private money, black youngsters from a big city ghetto come to the country. Here they meet an equal number of poor white youth from small towns and farms. They play together, work together, learn to know one another.
I don't find any difference between country people and big city people. The thing that makes them alike is the way they want to get along. I like this camp so good, I guess I just wouldn't want to change nothing. When I grow up, I want to try to be a football player. And my favorite football player is Bob Hayes. I know there's a lot of friends back home that I know that would like to come, but there's not enough room.
Does it work? In children, bigotry and prejudice are not inborn. Hate must be learned. It is not taught here.
I think that we all get along good here, and that as long as this camp is, everybody will get along good here. I think it's a happy place here. You can look out at the stars at night. Well, I usually dream about what I'm going to do the next day when I go to sleep. The reason everybody wants to be so active around here is because of all the classes they got. You don't have writer's workshop back at school or guitar.
Gonna tell all my brothers, ain't you got it right? Gonna tell all my sisters, ain't you got it right? Yes, you got it right. Yes, you got it right. To the tree of life. Now you need it. Yes, you got it right. 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 Yes,
Camp is fun. Camp is instructive. But for these youngsters from various backgrounds, there is another factor involved. How will the community respond to this unusual experiment?
Well, I think it's a great thing. I really do. I had some misgivings in the beginning, but after seeing what the children have done, I think it's a fantastic program. My misgivings at first were that there are a lot of black urban children coming into a predominantly rural area where there were very few black families, that the reception might not be as I would like for it to be.
I definitely think this is the right type of a program for young people because art is the real means of communication.
Yes, it is a form of communication that it does not need the language as such, that they can feel each other without talking to each other.
I think this type of program is excellent for children to get to know one another, children from different areas, from urban areas, to get to know children in suburban areas. I think more should be done. I can't say enough good things for a program like this.
The show is over. The summer is over. The youngsters will be going back home now, to the ghetto, the farm, the small town. The experience will be remembered.
I feel that there should be and has to be more community involvement. What worried me at first was that the community would look upon this as a way of educating the urban children coming in. And as I understood the program from the start, it was not so much for the education of the urban children, but really for the education of us.
Well, I have been one of the critics of high cost of this kind of program, but only on a comparative basis, that is of one phase of the program seeming to cost too much in comparison with other phases of a program, and perhaps the high per capita cost in regard to the individual young people who are involved. But in terms of national priority, one can hardly say that a program that brings together people from different types of understanding and different types of background, you really can't say it costs too much. If it reaches in the direction of helping us understand ourselves better and helping us to understand each other better, you can't put a dollar cost on that, particularly in a nation as wealthy as this.
First of all, I think that every dollar spent in this area is well worth it. And when you think of the enormous amounts of money that we spend destroying each other, I think that this is a very, very small price for building each other.
This type of activity, I believe, is marvelous. It certainly brings out togetherness with all the young people. I got a sense tonight of, it might sound corny, but the brotherhood of man. And I think we need a great deal more of it.
I like to be around trees, fresh, cool air, and lots of flowers and stuff. And it's a lot of fun here. I wish we could stay longer.
I enjoyed summer school very much because it was interesting to me, doing all those interesting art things and everything, going to field trips.
At the end of my days, I get off of work, I come home, and I sit down for about an hour and I think, did I help anybody or didn't I? If I didn't help anybody, it's no sense in me working.